The dying culture.
Yeah, there just aren't enough.
Have you had an Impossible Burger yet?
I have not.
Oh, I think I'd throw an Impossible Burger on a grill in Kansas City somewhere and put some barbecue sauce on that puppy.
You would get shot down, I feel like. There's just so many cows that need to die.
Well, these are made out of puppies.
Oh, they're made out of puppies.
I said I like to eat that puppy.
So light. That makes it so much better. Is that healthier to eat a puppy?
It is, because the meat is not so tough.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't choke on the collar. That's all.
Does it?
He wasn't kidding about having it on the tip of the tongue.
He really wasn't. It's a lot of gold right there. I am so happy to have you on the Comedy Store podcast. This is so exciting for us.
That's exciting. Thanks for having me. I've been wanting to do this for years. Yeah.
We don't get enough people, admitting that. So
that's true.
What I love about this room the most are the views.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a great view of sunset. You got a great view. I mean, there's walls blocking it, but I'm sure if you open up those walls and climb up about 10 feet, you would see.
It'd be a beautiful subterranean view of sunset that most people don't get.
Yeah.
They
used to waterboard comics down here, I think, a long time ago.
They were doing it up to
For
about a year
time,
ago.
Oh, they were up to a year ago.
There were some corporate issues, so they decided
recently...
to stop the torture. It's not torture. The government approves.
More like
so,
fun.
Yeah.
It's more like fun.
We used to take people who perform too often at the Laugh Factory down here and just really let them know where does your loyalty lie. A lot of people don't, they don't feel that there needs to be loyalty to comedy clubs anymore. But I have
Are you loyal to any comedy club?
No. I spread my love to all of them.
Good for you.
You know what I mean? I used to bartend at the Improv.
Nice. New York or here?
No, here on Melrose. This is 1980, 81. For 2 years I did that. And I made pretty good money. It was on the slow nights. It was on Sunday and Monday nights. Okay. One of those was the open mic night. And then I would come here for the open mic night because I wanted to be a comic. And I would kill. And I would do, but Mitzi never made me a regular because she knew I used to be a bartender at the Improv.
She would just hold that grudge.
Yeah. And I wasn't even thinking along those lines. I thought, really? And she said to go work other clubs around the country. And at the time, I was kind of very resentful and angry about that. And I thought, I'll get her back. Because all I really wanted was my name on the Comedy Store on the outside.
Right,
of
course.
Because that way, that kind of validated you as a comic. But eventually, I got a billboard across the street for a little show called Weeds. And so I said, take that, Mitzi.
Yeah, enjoy that.
And then
Mitzi.
Somebody told me about a year or two ago,
seen it.
my name was on the Comedy Store finally. So there you go.
It all came around. Did they wait until she died before they put it up there?
I think so.
Yeah. It was her last dying wish to get
Never
you.
do it. But her sons were like, no, this is payback for never being there. We're writing Kevin Nealon on the wall.
Did you do improvs across the country? I mean, did the Improv hire you like that?
Eventually. Yeah. Back then there weren't franchises. There were just,
that's right, because that didn't start till...
Yeah, there was just a couple of clubs around, there were like other things like Funny Bones and things like that, and
There's
Chuckles
so many
in
Funny
Indiana.
Bones. They're still around, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, the Improvs, that whole franchise came about, I think, probably in the 90s, maybe the late 90s. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember. I started here in '93 as a waitress. So in my head,
you were a waitress here?
Yeah,
How was
12
that?
years.
Do you sympathize with the waitresses?
I do. I do. And 9 times out of 10, if you can't find me, I'm in the kitchen because that's where I feel comfortable.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Please.
I bartended at the Improv for 2 years. And the service bartender was Les Moonves. Okay. In the back room, who was the head of CBS. And the guy that took over for me, Eddie Burke, 38 years ago,
Eddie's
is still bartending there.
And he's doing a podcast right now. I've been
I
talking
did
to
his
him.
podcast.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy.
He's great.
Did you ever go over there? You know Eddie?
I don't.
He's the bartender there now.
They never gave me spots until after I had to quit drinking. So.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to handle a drunk comic sometimes.
Yeah, that would be annoying to me. Like when I'm down at the Improv, I just feel panicked because I don't really know anyone down there, and I hate just being that guy hanging out. So I always just walk around.
I'm that way at some of these satellite clubs now, like the Virgil, and some of these clubs that are kind of out in Los Feliz. I go in there and I don't know these people, and I feel like their father, because they're all like millennials and stuff.
Yeah.
And I go on, and they like me, and I get laughs, but I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Where you don't know anybody, but it's really strange the way life kind of evolves. And as a comic, you go into these clubs and you don't know anybody in the beginning,
right?
Yeah.
And then you're the young guy. and you're starting out, and then these other comics get older, and then they go away. I don't know where they go, but they go away.
Success sometimes.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They work in
yeah.
nicer places, and then you come up and you're headlining there, and now you're getting spots, you're getting paid, and then you go away because you got a show or something, a TV show, or you go on the road, and then you come back, and there's all these other new comics now. When I first started, there was like, all the only comics and like doing the clubs were like Jewish comics, black comics, Irish comics, and not too many, not a real big variety. And then after I did SNL and stuff, I came back to the clubs, and it's like Arabs and Iranians
Everything.
and
Yeah,
Indians.
yeah.
It was everything. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you get did you get excited when we were just not doing well at the Comedy Store? Did you keep your finger on the pulse of the Comedy Store because you were angered toward Mitzi? I'm kidding.
No.
I'm just trying to
late
rile her
90s, early
spirit.
2000 was the best years of your life as this club
Yeah.
slowly was crumbling.
It was bad.
I'm happily surprised at how popular it is now, and there's lines out front all
I
the
love
time, and
But
all the
it's-
rooms are filled.
It's happening at the Improv. It's happening at the
But
Laugh
not as
Factory.
much, not like the store here.
I mean, I'm always biased toward the store, but I'm happy that people are going out to see live comedy pretty much
yeah,
in a lot of different places.
I was never resentful about not getting to work here as a regular, but I remember the vibe back then. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the
so many people say that.
competitive-
That's why, yeah.
They like the doormen that worked here were kind of tough, and they were kind of like, everybody's like nosy about what everybody else is doing, and
Of course.
bitter that somebody's making it, But then on the other hand, it was this magic energy that was here. Robin to get on stage, or Annie Kaufman.
Yeah, yeah.
I one of the first people I met at the Improv, I was sitting at the bar. I came in there, and on my right side was Marty Feldman.
Okay.
And on my left side was the guy told me he was the original Ronald McDonald. And I called my mother the next day, my parents. I said, "You can't believe this. I met the original Ronald McDonald and Marty Feldman."
My father.
And then I come to find out, I got to know that person who said he was the original Ronald McDonald. It was really Bob Zamuda, who was Andy
Jesus.
Kaufman's kind of like
I love
co-creator
Bob.
guy.
Sidekick.
But I remember Bob at the time, we became friends, and he asked me if I would referee one of Andy Kaufman's fights. And I remember I wish I could have done it, but I had to work that night.
Wow, that's awesome.
But like I'm saying, though, that was the magic that was here at the store. And, when you had all those performers coming in, Richard Pryor and Steve Martin, everybody, Albert Brooks. I mean, that's
Albert Brooks.
Yeah.
I never saw him do stand-up. He's one of my absolute favorites.
Me too. And
But
I've gotten to know
have you seen him. Really? Have
Yeah.
you ever seen him do stand-up?
Yes, I was at the Improv one night, open mic night, and he calls. I was bartending, and people call me. I've answered the phone. Steve Martin called to see if he'd come down and do a spot. They asked for Bud, who owned the place, and then Albert Brooks calls. He comes down, and you could tell he was up on the Hollywood Hills. They were probably smoking weed, and his friend goes, "You should go down and do it." And so he comes down and he does like 90 minutes in a room, and I'm just watching. I'm thinking, wow. And I used to watch all these comics at the Improv because I was bartending there.
Yeah.
And then I'd go up, and I knew where the peephole was upstairs in the office, so I would go up there. When the room was packed sometimes. A lot of times it was packed because you had guys like Andy Kaufman on.
Sure.
Where he's reading from the book, The Great Gatsby, or he's doing, the washing machine on stage, and or Robin's on, or, Letterman.
And you can't see in the showroom.
I can't come in there because
right.
Bud Freeman says, get out.
That's
Don't stand in the
same
aisles.
with Mitzi, yeah.
So I would go up in the room, and I look through the peephole up in the wall, and I watch. And
so creepy,
it was
but
such
hot.
a great time. Yeah.
Love it.
Really so cool. I really loved it.
That's amazing. Yeah, because Rick was a door guy, I was a waitress. But I wasn't a comic. He was a comic. I didn't start.
Why would you want to even work here if you weren't a comic?
It was the only job I got when I moved.
Why did you move out here?
To be an actress. They wouldn't let me.
They wouldn't let you be an actress?
No, I was trying.
Hollywood sent her a memo. Said, sorry,
they were like,
not
you
interested."
resemble Marty Feldman too much. You got to get out. No, it was, I moved here to be an actress. I was like, I'll just do plays out here instead of going to New York. And then I realized they don't do plays in LA. And so whatever, the only job I could get was here. And I was like, this seems like a fun place. And it was like,
yeah,
all my friends are comics. So, but I didn't no interest. And then I worked for Mitzi because I had no interest in comedy. She was like, oh, this is perfect. I could trust her to be in my house.
Yeah.
She's not looking for something. Oh, sorry. Did we hurt you already?
No, I slid my chair into my knee, and my legs are so long.
Oh, Jesus.
I hit the wall that's 10 feet across from me.
It went straight through me.
Yeah.
It was...
How tall
I'm
are
6'4" now, but I was 5'8" when I graduated high school. I had a growth spurt. Believe it or not, I really did.
After high school?
After high school.
Wow.
That's what my grandpa did, too. He was like, I think he said he was 5'10" when he graduated. By the time he graduated college, he was 6'3", 6'4".
They must have been looking at you in college like, the fuck is happening?
I was watching my arms grow out of my sleeves, like in person,
like a werewolf.
as it was happening. Yeah, like Jerry Lewis and
like
the Nutty
big.
Professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And but now I think I've stopped growing.
Okay.
Hopefully.
You might. I don't know. Your leg just went across the room through the wall.
I have really long legs.
Yeah, you're a stretcher.
Yeah.
I have long legs. My grandpa used to say she's got legs that run all the way up her ass. I don't know if that was harassment or not, but I
it's
enjoyed
true.
it.
Yeah,
They do run up around.
it's just a statement.
How else are they going to get there?
I used to be like, I was so little, I'd be like, what the hell does that mean? And then I'd just be looking at my legs. I guess they are up my ass, but
Your grandpa sounds like a real creep.
he's great.
I don't know if I
He
could
was
put
the
that out
greatest, creepiest guy I knew.
You know what makes me uncomfortable is going in a dressing room where they have the 3 mirrors and you could see your back
Ugh.
and your ass. And you go, oh my God, why would I even buy new clothes? You know, to cover.
Do you not check your ass out in the mirror
I don't
like
really
women?
know. I don't have like the 3 mirror thing at home. I just have the front mirror.
Of course.
But I know the front of my body, like the back of my hand, which I never see either.
Gold.
So, yeah.
All on the tongue, coming out.
It's all coming out, man.
Just spewing out.
But
So-
yeah, I mean, I just don't like it. I have a really high ass and
Okay.
okay, and mostly legs.
Because they run all the way up it.
They do
Yeah.
run all the way up.
You got those long legs. I don't know.
If you were just legs, how tall do you think you would be?
If I was just legs,
Yeah.
probably.
Still taller than a midget, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't like to call them midgets. It's dwarfs.
Well,
that's a
listen,
Yeah.
this is a
Specific.
topic we could argue all night long because as long as it's
Argument.
disrespectful, I think that's the important thing.
Yeah.
for sure. It has to be disrespectful.
What did Brad say? The only one he doesn't like is the slur from Willow, Peck.
Right, Peck.
He says as long as you don't call him Peck, he's fine with any of the
Did
other
you ever
options.
hear that as a slur for dwarfs?
No, I've never heard that before.
I didn't either.
Peck?
But they said it's from the movie
There's a movie
Willow.
and
Yeah.
it's Warwick Davis and Val Kilmer. And Val Kilmer is a swordsman, and he just keeps yelling "peck" at all the midgets.
That's hysterical.
boy.
It's kind of rude, but I like
Brad
it.
obviously.
Brad Williams
Yeah.
took offense
How long
to
have you
it.
guys been married?
Rick and I?
Yeah.
What
Too
year
long.
did I hire you?
She did hire me. She was the boss lady when I got a job as
Hired
a
you
doorman.
for what?
To work the door here.
Yeah.
You were
2002.
hiring people?
I was Mitzi's assistant. Yeah.
You were?
She was
I did
literally
everything here.
running the show.
This is
when
in
I got here.
'93, though?
I started in 93, so her health started declining late 90s, and I stayed till 2005. So for about 5 or 6 years, I was pretty much running the wait staff. And
What's happening with her office now? I went by there
I
once.
thought
I
you were going
looked
to
in
say
there. It's
something
like a
completely
museum.
different, and my heart dropped.
Oh.
What's happening with her these days? Well,
Oh, no.
she's over here. Mitz?
Yeah.
She'll shut the power down any second.
She did throw a light at Tony Rock and I a couple weeks ago. We were
I
talking
love
trash.
Tony Rock.
Isn't
He's
he
so
great?
Funny. He's so underrated.
He really is. He really is. I love Tony. But anyway, we were talking shit and a light came flying off the wall. Notice they're not
Do you
up there
believe in that
anymore.
stuff?
I noticed Mitzi would throw a light. Yeah, I believe that.
I don't believe in signs or anything. You know, people say, like, my wife is big on ladybugs. So if she's going to make
that's
a
a
big
big one.
decision about something, she'll see a ladybug and she'll go, that's a sign. There's a ladybug. Well, that ladybug is always there.
Now, is it true that if you count the spots on a ladybug, that's how old they are? Or is that something my parents would tell me to keep me quiet for a while?
I think those are sunspots, you know.
This one has cancer. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one's...
It's definitely that is a sick ladybug. I don't believe in anything.
I have felt spirits here, though. I've been here so long that I have felt like cold.
But I think that's in
weird
your head, though,
things.
isn't it? It's kind of all psychological.
I don't know. I'd be sitting in Mitzi's office.
What is that empty now? It's like a museum.
I don't think
isn't
it's like a museum.
We haven't
Storage
touched
kind of a-
anything.
I don't think they've touched anything, or at least they haven't told me if they've touched anything.
Can't they turn that into another comedy room in there?
Well, look
like
what
a
you're
smaller
trying to
belly
do.
room?
That's so hurtful.
Smaller belly room.
Like we can't jam people
What?
in
Tell
enough.
me-
What kind of greed?
Why isn't that
Okay,
the
now we're
podcast
doing
studio?
I'm curious, Eleanor. What was she like? I mean, what comics when you were working with her? Who did she really love? What comic did she have a lot of faith in?
That would switch from day to day. I mean, she had her comics that she loved, her pets. She had a lot of pets. But
who are we talking here in the 90s?
We're talking Alan Steven. We're talking Dom Irrera. Dom Irrera was a pet because Dom could work the Improv, the Laugh Factory. His name could be in lights in every. She didn't give a shit.
Jay Leno.
She didn't like him.
She didn't like Jay.
She was mad at Jay. I'm not going to say she didn't like Jay. I'm saying she was pissed. Like all that shit that happened during the strike, and those guys. She would tell me terrible stories about Letterman and stuff like that just really hurt her because she believed in them so wholeheartedly and was trying so hard to push them, especially David. That hurt her a lot.
Did my name ever come up?
That is a weird thing that you said.
Just be honest.
No.
We've talked a lot about this, and just because he's here, I don't want you to hold back what she said.
Don't hold back.
I'm hurt that it didn't come up at all.
What she said was he wasn't tall enough. So I said, well, you didn't know him in college, and that's when he really
I will tell you what
up.
She did tell me.
Yeah.
That she already had a tall comic here.
Oh,
Tom Wilson.
That's hysterical. Tom was one of her pets, and they lived in Crestwood. He was Dice's roommate. They all lived up in her house in
Dice who?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry. And I answered. I'm such an idiot. I'm so used to being around people that don't know him, like young people. They're like,
I know, isn't it crazy?
Yes, because they're like, Andrew Dice Clay, who's that?
But people don't know who a lot of famous people are.
No, they don't, because they're so focused on the idiot influencers on Instagram to know who anyone.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because that's what's happening now.
Sure.
I mean, I ran into Jim Carrey at a party a couple of years ago, and he was not like doing TV or anything anymore. I said, "What are you doing these days?" He goes, "I'm sculpting and painting."
Amazing.
I said, "Why is that?" He goes, "Well, I enjoy it, but also because people don't remember like actors and stuff. After 50 years, you're gone."
Isn't that weird? But I kind of disagree with that. Like, Jim Carrey had a lot of movies. You know what I mean? Eddie Murphy.
But none of those, they won't be remembered, though.
Yeah, but you're like, my nephew Jimmy loses his mind that I have pictures with you. Like, and he's 26.
I'm different because nobody will ever forget me. But I'm telling you, even big stars, like I was hiking with Lindsey Vonn, the skier.
Okay.
And this trail was like dedicated by Warren Beatty or something, and she didn't know who Warren Beatty was.
Oh,
because she lives,
she's busy.
Respectfully, she lives in this bubble of ski world.
Got it. But
that's why she's so good.
Beatty, I mean, yeah.
But people people forget her. They don't hear about them. They don't know them, and maybe they'll find them like in a movie one day.
Yeah, or you just have daddy issues like me and have a crush on him when you're a kid. No?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was like, who's that guy? Like, I can watch Heaven Can Wait on a loop.
Oh, I loved Heaven Can Wait.
Not the old one. The
Warren
with
Beatty
the Rams.
one.
Yeah, because it was the Rams. I'm a big Rams.
That's right. It was the Rams.
So I get excited.
Julie Christie.
Yes. She was great. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So my mom always watched old movies. So I guess I do that. And now we do it to I have a niece. She's 26, 27. Alexa,
27.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. And they're
you
growing,
don't need to
and
know
I
your
can't stand it. Yeah. And
age.
She would get mad if I said her age anyway, but she watches old movies. Like, she would go to sleep to TV Land. So she knows her favorite TV shows are I Love Lucy and Golden Girls. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
Who doesn't love Golden Girls?
Yeah, but she would watch old movies with my mom, and that's her favorite thing.
Yeah.
So she would know Warren Beatty, like, you know what I mean? But then some people just don't. Like, I have another niece. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I'm just going to keep bringing them up.
You got a lot of brothers and sisters, and they all reproduce.
Are you from a big family?
I am.
I know.
I am. High-ass family. High-ass family. No, there's 5 of us.
It's
Irish. We're like you, Irish Catholic
yeah.
family. So
Same,
there's 5
Rick
kids.
too.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah.
5 in my family as well.
Five's like the norm.
People gotta stop reproducing.
10 is
though.
uncomfortable. I'm 10. I'm number
you
8.
10 kids in your family?
Yeah. My mom's sister had 10 kids too.
Wow.
I know.
They
People
like to
tell
have
us we're
sex.
part of the problem.
And that's not the only time they just had sex.
My mom said she
10
only
times.
had sex 10 times.
That's a lot of.
If you have a problem with that, I will have her call you.
A lot of Philly fucking.
Oh, I'm sure.
Eleanor, here's my problem.
with kids.
Here's something I've been doing lately.
Okay.
I'll see like a big mass of people, whether it's in Times Square or whatever.
Okay.
And then in my head, I'm picturing all of their parents making love to have them having sex.
Oh.
Because there's twice as many people than that right there.
Yeah.
Right. And
I like
do you
asking,
ejaculate fast or?
No.
Oh.
No. I stretch it out. and then I get home and I start thinking about all of the genitalia that was in that group.
quite a bit.
If you put it in a pile,
Okay.
It's a disturbing thought.
it would be
A pile of genitalia.
a pile of genitalia.
I'm so nauseous
Great name
that
for
I
a comedy
imagine
album.
But
it.
I would separate it
Yes.
out. I would
Yes.
separate them like I do with Halloween candy.
Sure.
I would get home on the floor.
How do
put
you
it on the
separate
floor.
your Halloween candy? Like
Well, I
what?
get on the floor. I empty it all out of the bag.
Nuts here.
No, it's all like Mounds bars, Snickers, all in
Okay.
the same thing.
Oh, but you don't separate like coconut here, nuts here.
Oh yeah, I put separate piles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peanut butter
but,
here.
But the nuts, no, I don't separate the nuts.
Okay.
I have people that do that for me.
That's the beauty of success.
Yeah.
It's to have
No
the
more
people.
nut separating.
And I don't even trick or treat. I have somebody go out for me, and they
That's
trick or
smart.
treat. Yeah.
They go out for you as you.
Truly, here's my best discovery to date.
Okay.
It's an app, and I'm not promoting them or anything, but it's called, I'm forgetting it now, but you could hire them to come to your house and do work.
Oh,
And
which one? Because I feel like there's so many. But-
I'll tell you in a second. I'll look
I
at my
like
phone.
it.
But they also have they'll
What kind of
also wait in
work?
line for you. They'll wait in line for you if you want to get a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You pay them whatever it is, whatever they charge an hour.
Uh-huh.
And they will go out there and do it. And they are called, as I look at my phone right now with 30 million apps on it, they are called, give me 1 minute here as I have my people look it
what I
up.
like?
The app master.
Is that
More apps than anyone.
Yeah,
I've ever
Eleanor
met.
Stahl.
he also knows that there's not supposed to be dead air in radio.
Yeah.
So he's trying to give
He's
me a
pushing
moment.
it.
He's keeping it on, and he's a
What
radio guy.
What is good is he knows what's going on. He
Okay. So
found
we
the
can
app
just-
a while ago. He's
I didn't
building
find the
suspense.
app. I did not find the app, but I know the name of it. It's called TaskRabbit.
TaskRabbit. Okay.
And you call them up, and sometimes they'll, it's $40 an hour, but there's a 2-hour minimum.
Okay.
And I don't know how that compares to the people at the Home Depot parking lot.
Oh, I wonder if they came up with it.
$20. You can get them all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, here's
Home
what I'm
Depot.
thinking. With
Have
the
you done that?
holidays, well, I'm going to do it this holiday season. I want to get them to come over and lick some envelopes for me.
Okay.
See that?
Will they do that?
Not only will they do it, but they will be excited at the lack of back-breaking labor.
What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to pick them up in a pickup truck. I'm going
course.
to get like 10 of them. They're going to think they're coming to a big job site.
Yeah.
And then I'll load them and bring them into the den at my house.
Smart.
Okay.
And I'm going to put all the envelopes out on the floor and have them start licking the envelopes.
Smart.
And the people
Will
aren't
you
going to
think about the genitalia in that group?
Their parents' genitalia.
I'll think about their parents
Yeah, it's-
having
Okay.
sex.
It's not about their genitalia,
Well, but I
Eleanor.
thought it was
That's
the
disgusting.
whole genitalia of the group.
You think about the genitalia that created the people.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize. It had to be of age. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
I mean,
think they would
this
be
is like
of
a
age.
35-year-old man, but you're thinking about the genitalia that, really got together to create that 35-year-old man.
Got it. That makes better
When there's a
sense.
family in the audience, like a 25-year-old and his parents, I love asking the parents if they remember what position they were.
That's so wrong.
Rick.
And then
you?
That's
the
uncomfortable.
25-year-old gets really uncomfortable. And almost every time the parents both get enormous smiles, like mischievous.
Like
Like,
hey,
like
guess
they
what we
remember.
did?
Dad
Yeah.
always remembers.
Does he?
The
I feel
look
like
is
a dad
basically,
would forget.
I think some of them are really special.
When is your birthday, Rick?
April 24th.
Okay, so you're not a Valentine's Day baby.
No.
I think I am because my birthday is next week. And
Okay.
It was February probably.
Yeah.
So 10 months,
So
9
you,
months.
I got it. So you do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm August 29th, so that's New Year's.
And I was also circumcised to look like a heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
To make-
Valentine's heart.
Nice.
More.
That's
a house-
another sign.
Yeah.
Do you put chocolates? Did you ever get it like molded in chocolate?
No.
That's a thing you can do. Genitalia. Did
You
know
can
that?
get your junk molded in
into
chocolate, and then do you give that to someone? Is
You
that
can.
the deal?
You can.
Or is it for you
can
to
keep
enjoy?
it and eat yourself?
You're eating your own dick.
Is that bad? To
Does it
eat
go
your own
both
dick?
ways?
I like, well, when it comes to dark chocolate, I'm 72%, no higher.
Okay.
You?
About that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because when you go up to like 85%,
it's a little.
It's cooking butter. It's baking. It's baking
yes,
chocolate.
You're right.
Then.
Yeah, and that's not great.
Yeah, it's too bitter. I think it's something. It's too much cocoa. You know.
I like the way he says that.
Cake, cocoa.
Hey, I went to a hotel in Paris. I go to it every once in a while.
Very hot.
And they got the hot chocolate down in the lobby that is to die for. It's so rich. It's almost like melted butter.
Ooh.
And it's like $30 for a cup of coffee.
No.
But you got to thin it out. I always get a side of milk and I'll just thin it out a little bit, so it's not so thick. But man, you could sit there with that cup of coffee and just sip on it all day. I mean, chocolate.
Ooh.
Because it's that rich. Take a break. We'll be right back.
See, he really is.
He's good. He just point and then.
Wait. I want to know what year how did you get SNL? How did that come about?
A lot of people ask me how I got on Saturday Night Live. Although they phrase it more like this. How did you get on Saturday Night Live?
I almost said that because Mitzi was tapping me ask him. And I'm like, all right.
Ask him.
Why is the bartender
See
for the
why he
Improv
did.
on Saturday Night Live?
Helping them make money.
Dana Carvey is a friend of mine, and he got selected to be on SNL that summer for that coming fall. This was back in the 1900s.
Great century.
Yeah.
One of my favorite centuries.
I enjoyed that generation.
Samesies.
And I was so excited for him. I was excited that I knew somebody that was going to be on SNL. In fact, we used to be roommates kind of. He rented the room over our garage in this house I was living in the Hollywood Hills with a couple of the comics. You don't know who they are. And
Who were they?
Well, Joe Kenny wasn't a comic. He was a writer producer. He's since passed away. And then Bob Duback is the other comic.
Are those lights bothering you? You want me to turn them?
Those car headlights?
Yeah.
Those interrogation lamps?
No, it's fine. But I will tell you that sometimes I go to therapy with my wife, which is good. It's very healthy to do that. And she has a big window in there. It's floor to ceiling. And it's always open. The curtains are open. It's always bright out there. And sometimes I close my eyes.
I get it.
I get reprimanded for that.
Yeah.
Because
you're not in the moment.
They think that I'm like avoiding, communication, or I'll wear sunglasses.
Especially in therapy.
I know. And then I purposely, sometimes I'll cross my legs because I do that a lot.
But they're long. They're very long.
And I tell them, I said, now don't read this body language into being like defensive or, I'm kind of like closed up, because I'm not.
Get some goddamn curtains.
Some curtains.
Yes.
And let me just fold my long legs.
Yeah.
All
and
right,
let's talk the truth.
Let's talk more about the comics and the house you lived in.
Okay.
So Dana hooked you up.
Yeah. So I live with those comics, and then Dana goes to SNL, and then he recommends me. So I go in for an audition, and I end up getting it because I just talked to Dana about this the other day. In fact, I said, I talk about this sometimes, and he goes, yeah, I recommended you because they were looking for somebody tall, like a Chevy Chase.
Okay.
And also, people that had chemistry together. And so we all knew. And I was dating Jan Hooks at the time, and she was up for it. And she became a cast member, and I was a cast member, and Dana. So we all knew each other. And so those were the people that lived in my house. And then when I went to go do it, David Spade rented my room from me.
Oh, wow.
In that house, yeah.
It's a lucky house.
It really was.
Were you guys renting it? Was it in Hollywood Hills?
Yeah, it was a nice Spanish house in Hollywood Hills.
Nice.
Alciona Drive, right, near, not too far from Beechwood Canyon.
Right now, like 30 comics will probably be running.
How do we get there? Yeah.
I wonder who lives
there. I want to rent that room.
It's Dana.
I got to get on SNL. All right.
Dana got Spade on SNL as well, correct?
Well, Dana didn't get anybody on SNL. He might have recommended
Spade.
Yeah, he got him.
He recommended me. He might have recommended Kevin Pollak too.
Oh, okay.
But I remember when I was, it came so quickly for me because I had 3 days, to tell people. I had to pack up and go and be there on Monday.
Wow.
But I think Rick Overton, do you know the comic
Sure.
Rick? I mean, I think he basically thought he was on the show. I mean, they told him, and he had packed his bags and sold everything. And
holy shit.
I guess I came along, and they saw me, and they took me instead, which I didn't think was a good move because Rick is so talented. He would have been great on there. And yeah, so I got the part.
But this time you got it for being tall. At the Comedy Store, you didn't get in because you were
Much
tall.
better.
See how it works?
Yin and yang.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Because we tease to say Mitzi's like Noah's Ark. Like she had 2 of everything, and she didn't exceed that. Like she would have 2 tall guys, 2 short guys, dwarfs.
I got
midgets.
passed solely up by the fact that Mitzi said she needed a new young guy.
Yeah.
So I was 21, and she would make me go first, and then one of the few times I actually talked to her, I go, I said, yeah, thanks for giving me the spots. It's kind of tough going first, but I appreciate it. Trying to plant the seed, like maybe you could put me in a different part of the show.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, you're so young. If you bomb, people will forgive you. I was like, oh.
But when you look back, it's I'm kind of glad that I had to go other places because
Of course.
you look at a lot of Mitzi's pets, as you call them,
Sure.
and they never went anywhere really.
That's not nice to say about Dom Herrera,
As
but
comics,
I like it.
as comics. Dom Herrera
It's one of my best friends.
is a very good friend of mine too, and I think there's probably no one quite as funny as him.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Terrible attitude on that.
Terrible attitude on Dom.
That's what I respect most about him.
Yeah. But I remember watching Mike Binder.
Okay.
Mike Binder was like 16. I know him now.
Yeah.
A great guy. We hang out sometimes. But he's not a comic anymore. But
isn't that crazy?
He was getting the cush spots on open mic night.
She loved him. That's a big pet.
That's best time spot ever. And he was like 17 or 16. And I remember he'd do a joke about waiting in line at Disneyland. And I remember as an open micer, I'd be in the back of the room watching him every week get the best spot. And then I'd get on there like at 1:30 in the morning or whatever, after all the established comics came in and did their spots. And
it's like what time my spot is tonight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I love the open mic nights. What time is your spot tonight?
That's like midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved the open mic nights, and if I never even made it, I'd still be doing them because it was so exciting for me.
Yeah, I mean, it is fun. I don't mind going on late. I feel like you learn a lot going on late.
Yeah, you learn whatever you go on, you learn something.
I don't watch anymore.
Yeah.
I can't because of waiting tables so long that I was in the room and I would know the rhythm of a comic's.
Yeah, and you don't get anything for anybody
down
either.
To it, and I'd be like, ugh, what?
You don't get drinks for people anymore either.
No, so
kind of bullshit.
what?
Yeah, kind of bullshit.
I knew every comic in the clubs back then, Eleanor. I could tell you anytime they would take a breath or swallow. And so when my parents came out to watch a show, I knew when these comics were doing their dirty bits. And I grew up in a family that we never swore and, we never talked about that stuff. And so as the bit was coming up, I'd distract my parents by saying, hey, do you guys want to go to Grauman's Chinese Theater tomorrow? And then the guy would be done with his dirty bit,
Smart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Whoa.
Not proud of it.
Bougie.
Industrial city.
I know Bridgeport.
It doesn't belong in Connecticut. It's like the Detroit of Connecticut.
It's true. They have a stress factory there now.
I know.
I mean, that's right. Stress factory. I've done it a couple times.
Oh, you have already? A couple times?
Yeah, with Andrew Dice Clay. I'll say the whole name this time, just so you.
How did it go?
He's an up-and-comer.
It was great. He's an up-and-comer.
That's his town, man. That's a really blue-collar industrial town.
Yeah, he sells it out. Like I know the owner, Vinny, is great guy, but it's not. He's struggling getting it going.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it was cooking, and then it's not. It's just a weird city, Bridgeport.
Yeah.
I mean,
a
weird place.
I mean, several of the mayors were, up for racketeering.
Yeah,
and also it came very close to being bankrupt as a city, and there's gangs and mafia.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of bizarre elements, but like certain comics he brings in, it's jam-packed. It's great, you know, and it's just he's so used to the consistency of his Jersey club that it's, you get spoiled and then you're like, oh, shit, I got to start over,
Yeah.
But it's getting there. Bridgeport, you should go back and do it.
I am going back in May.
Good.
I'm getting my honorary doctorate degree from the college I went to.
Honorary, nice. Where did you go?
Harvard. No. I went to Sacred Heart University in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah, I know. What I like is that you looked at me and said Harvard, like I would believe. Like I would just go, oh yeah.
He said it like he knew you're dazzled by education.
Yeah, because he knew.
I went to Harvard Westlake.
It's in the valley, right?
Yeah,
it is.
It's a
that
nice
one I
university.
know.
But I did play football at Fairfield University after I graduated Sacred Heart University.
Okay.
Because I always wanted to play football.
Yeah.
And I never did in high school, but we played sandlot football. We had the helmets and the pads, and we played the gangs from across town in Bridgeport, and no refs, and it was really rough. So I was ready for battle, And so my friend found out that if we took a night course at Fairfield University, 3 credits, that'll qualify us to be on the football team if we made it. So we took a course in criminology.
Smart.
Okay.
And we went to maybe three classes, and we played football for the whole season. The starting quarterback got hurt, so I got to play the whole season.
Oh my God.
And I was the kicker and the punter.
Okay.
And I did really well. I got MVP, and then we went back to do the second year. But then I guess some of the other players, one of the wanted to be quarterback, complained.
Okay.
And they said, we got to take 12 credits now. So I said, I don't need to know 12 credits of criminology, man.
I'm not really
I'm
down
here for the pure athleticism.
Yeah. I mean, haven't they seen my growth?
Yeah. But my dream was to come to California and become a stand-up.
Okay.
And also I would try out as kicker for the LA Express. It was the USFL Football League at the time. So that would be my hook. He's a comic, but also he's the kicker for the LA Express.
Well, maybe the Bears would pick you up now.
Maybe.
It's never too late. Never too late to try.
The Bears need it.
I don't think I can raise my leg over my knee now. But
I don't think that matters for the Bears.
No,
I mean, if you're willing to live in Chicago, all you really need to do is not make field goals. If you can do that,
that would be amazing. I love that you did that. I can't believe you took a course and got to play on a college football team.
Well, they really did not. It was a club football.
Okay.
It was like regular. I mean, they had pads and helmets and all that stuff. But we played smaller schools.
Wasn't in the Big Ten.
No. But we had some really fun games, like all over. We went to Pennsylvania, St. Francis, Stony Brook, and Long Island. And my dream came true. I got to be quarterback, in a league, and it was fun.
That's insane. They're like, the quarterback's hurt. Who can throw?
Damn it! Who could see over the offensive line? Get Nealon over here.
He's growing.
The one thing I remember, if I could just toot my horn for a minute, first for 1 second, talk about me.
God.
They were trying out field goal kickers, and I had a good leg because I played soccer and rugby too.
Okay.
And so they'd set the ball on the 20-yard line, and there'd be like 5 of us, trying out, and I'd kick it, and I'd split the goalpost each time. We'd go back further. Now there's like 3 of us. And now we're on the 40-yard line. There's 2 of us. And now I'm like on the 50-yard line kicking. And the coaches are looking at each other like, you could almost hear the music, like, we've discovered something here that is,
We're going to make field goals this year.
We're just going for the 3 points.
Yeah. Just get us to the 40.
And then they said,
they might take us serious.
Do you want to bet that we from 60? Are you going to want to make a bet? I said, no, it's okay.
No.
I've been lucky so far.
Tagging out of this 50. Did you get it at 50?
I don't remember what the yardage was, but it was really far back.
Okay.
And I was even surprised I was kicking it that far.
Because you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to go to the LA Express and be their punter because I could hang time.
Yeah.
I keep the ball up for like 2 minutes sometimes. Just hanging up.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all in the spin. It's how you spin it.
I mean, that's gravity defying.
Sometimes it would never come down. They'd have to call a game.
That's true. It is amazing. My brother Jimmy says that about balls he hit. He's like, they're still in the air. I'm like, okay.
Golf balls?
No, baseballs.
Baseballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like to hit things. Golf is fun sometimes. They golf a little bit. Do you golf?
I do.
Yeah, I just like to hit it hard, but then I can't putt. That's the part where
You're the Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. I'm the hockey player of.
That makes sense.
I like to be rough, but sorry, that came out
wrong. No, it came out right.
I was reading my Tinder profile. My fault.
She likes to play rough.
I do like it rough. I wanted to be a football player.
Did you play sports?
Of course.
What'd you
play? I played everything. Lacrosse.
Water polo? So not everything.
How do they get the horses in the water?
She kind of lied about everything.
That's what my mom goes when she goes, water polo? How do they get the horses in the water?
God damn it.
It's funny. I said that same joke about 2 weeks ago. We were walking by my son's pool.
Oh.
Your mom was in the pool.
Yeah.
And they had water polo. I said, where's the horses? You can't see the horses.
Did he get mad? Because I used to get mad. But no, I played football. I played baseball. I was a wrestler. Hello.
Yeah. You were a wrestler?
As an adult.
As an adult. That's true. 1999. Yeah. Easy Rider, Wow Women of Wrestling, right here. Could drop
My
kick
first
you.
wife was a mud wrestler.
That's hotter than what I did, but yes, I think I wrestled in the mud once at I forgot the name of it. Don Barris used to be the MC there.
Oh,
Tropicana.
Yeah. Tropicana.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a goof. Me and my friend Gabrielle.
That's
hot.
crazy.
Was your wife good at it?
Is there
X?
It was more of a movie thing. She was in a movie called Stripes.
That's
what, mud wrestling.
That's
scene.
Legitimately what I thought of was the
really?
Stripes scene.
Yeah, she was the one that didn't take off her top.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why I married her.
You're like, oh,
Class.
you're so classy.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Wrestled John Candy, is that correct?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how amazing that is? Though? Like we were talking
That's the
about
only
that.
mud wrestling I literally can think of
Mud
at
wrestling
all.
was really popular, like in the 80s,
Yeah,
I think.
huge.
Yeah.
Mud wrestling, but I was thinking
I
of
missed out on a
old
good
school
time.
with the oil, but that wasn't mud. That was
Oh,
oil.
yeah, that's oil.
And a pig, yeah, and a watermelon. Yeah, you're confused a little bit.
Eleanor, I'm starting to
sorry,
wonder
I
why your
get-
mind goes to these places.
I'm a pervert.
Oil wrestling.
I am a pervert.
Do you use night cream?
I do.
And what about on your body?
Mostly mud.
When you wake up in the morning,
Filthy.
do you shower and then do you cover your body with cream? Because I do.
Oh yeah, of
I'll
course.
put it on my
I'm
legs.
Irish.
And
I
what
have to
kind
put
of
it everywhere?
Yeah, you're light skin.
Yeah, and I'm
What kind of body
ashy.
cream do you use? Do you use oil? Coconut?
It's shea butter.
Oh, shea butter is nice.
Yeah, shea
That's
butter is
smooth.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, all
Some
over your body.
smooth and silky. Yeah,
And then
why
your
are your
socks
pants
go on
coming
nice.
down? Your zip. What?
Tell me more about the shea
It'd
butter.
it'd be a very long zip, though. The zipper is...
It's got to go all the way up
Yeah.
that waist.
I'm not a fan of the button-up jeans.
Me
No.
neither. Is that still a thing? Are they still doing that?
I have like 3
Monsters.
pair, and I pull them up, and I go, "Oh, not these again." But it's
Yeah.
too late. I got them up. It's a long way to take them down again.
Yeah, it's too much work.
Mostly because going to the bathroom, you got to
Yeah.
button them, and
Yeah.
I would just leave them. Yeah, I don't like the button fly.
I would just go in the pants.
And then I have these jeans I bought in Nashville about 3 years ago, and they're supposed to be like really good jeans, and they say don't wash them too much. Don't wash them
You're
at
not
all.
supposed to wash jeans too much.
Yeah, and but
Real jeans.
But I put my hands on them. The blue dye is always coming off of my hand.
That's good jean.
It's a really good jean, but
Yeah.
I don't want to walk around like Blue Man Group all day.
You're the only person in the world who feels that way. Because the
Yeah.
rest of
Are
us,
you not a percussionist?
we
Is that
want a
why?
Blue Man
No.
group. That's all I want.
Yeah, I want it to
That's
be.
why I got into comedy.
to
Just
be in a
hoping
blue-
to meet someone who could introduce me to the Blue Man group. And Mitzi, she just didn't see it.
Would you rather see like 10 hours of the Blue Man Group or Stomp?
Whew,
Ooh.
God, I mean,
I've seen
hard pass
Stomp.
on
I've
all
seen
of the
both.
above, but
I like the drum beats, man.
I do too. I've seen both. You don't like that?
I don't enjoy anything.
I do.
I'm dead inside too,
Rick.
man.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just,
just so dead. My wife complains I don't get excited about things because I don't trust anything anymore being in this business.
yeah.
Oh, how
You always
could
get
you?
let down.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
year did you start doing stand up?
78,
Yeah. So
1977, something like that.
you probably lost interest about 82.
It's not that I lost interest. It's just that I got used to it and I got comfortable with it. And I didn't have that adrenaline rush anymore when I come off stage. Like I used to come off in the original room on open mic night,
Yeah.
where I just killed it. And I come off stage and my heart was beating and I was so
Excited.
excited and who was in the audience, But now it's kind of like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted that dead air. I love it.
It's like I
It's true.
just finished writing,
I
and
still get excited. I still fall a little bit for things, but I'm starting to
yeah,
teeter off.
yeah.
I'm
You're
13
better off
years
that
in
way.
now.
13? That's
Mhm.
all?
February of 13 years. Yeah. I started late. Like I said, I was waiting tables here.
You didn't start late. You started. You just weren't on stage.
True. I would talk
Yeah,
a lot of
Because
shit.
remember how funny you were in high school?
So funny.
What happened to that girl?
You know what? I left her behind
Yeah.
in that Catholic school uniform for other people to
Why
fantasize
keep
about.
Catholic
keep
school?
talking.
Why
Keep
are those
talking.
uniforms so sexy when they're so ugly?
All girl Catholic high school. Everyone was pregnant.
Were they really?
Yes.
It's
Really?
about what's underneath. that
Immaculate
uniform.
conception happened at least once a week. No, I mean everybody. I can remember sitting in religion class and everybody just having the belly and the
Are you
rosaries over the
serious?
belly.
Are you kidding me?
So bad, but it's true. It's just. I mean, my best friend had a kid. She was 16. I was 15. My godson.
I can't
Lewis.
believe what they're doing in high schools now. I'm worried
Now
about my
it's
son.
co-ed. Now it's co-ed. Are you sending him to Catholic school? Private school?
It doesn't matter where he's sending him. They're all the same. It's drugs and sex and cars, expensive cars.
It's so
cell phones, iPads.
Yeah, I don't like any of that.
He's got a 3-year-old.
And I'm already concerned. I take her to preschool. And I'm way less rich than the kids she goes to preschool with.
I know it. I walked through my son's parking lot. Porsches, BMWs,
Oh, you gotta take him back.
I gotta drive
Bridgeport.
I have to drive by Calabasas High School every day when I take Julia to preschool, and to see the cars these kids are driving, so much nicer than the car I'm driving as a 38-year-old man.
Tell me about your first car you've ever bought.
My first car was a '88 Oldsmobile Delta 88.
Nice.
Just a real nice. We called it
automatic.
Called a grandpa. Oh yeah, called a grandpa, and just a lot of good memories, but just treated the car like shit. It didn't matter because it was built well.
Yeah.
Like I remember turning a corner going like 60 in a neighborhood, and
So hot.
sliding off the road onto the grass and the sidewalk.
Nice.
Plowing directly through a no parking sign.
Okay.
And not even denting my car.
No.
Hurting everything
just bent
else,
the thing
though.
and broke it off.
Yeah. Because they were real cars. They were like
made
tanks.
out of actual
metal.
metal.
Metal, yeah.
Yeah. Now, like I had a Toyota Tercel. If a little rock hit it, I had to replace the whole side. Do you know what I mean? Like it's tin can.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's awful.
My first car was a 65 Chevelle Malibu.
Ooh.
And I think it was around 1970 I had it.
65. Is that the one my brother Jimmy just got?
Three in a column. But the first new car I bought was a Datsun. It was a Datsun B210.
With that back?
No, it was just a
okay.
regular, like boxy looking B210. And the color I got, because it was the only one on the lot, was like an Ace Bandage brown, like butterscotch.
That was a hot
So
color
bland.
car throughout the 70s
Oh,
and 80s,
man,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
You put whipped cream on top of that, people go crazy. No, but-
Did you do that?
No.
Oh, okay, I was just.
He wasn't trying to make people crazy.
No.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it was. My managers at the time said, "Don't get a radio or air conditioning because that'll really pump up the price." So I had a car with no radio and no AC in LA.
No way.
And I pick up this girl on a date for a first date, and she goes, "Where's the radio?" And it's like really hot, with the windows down. And so I was so embarrassed. The next time she went on one more date with me, but when I picked her up this time, I'd cut out a picture of a Blaupunk radio and put it in the, where the radio
Smart.
goes. I
Should've
taped it
been.
in there. And she didn't think that was so funny.
That was why it only went
Is
one
that your
more
first
date.
wife?
No.
She didn't go for it.
No.
No,
This girl left me for a drug dealer.
Okay.
Coke dealer, yeah.
Okay.
Best ones always do.
They do, right?
Yeah.
Those good girls, they just leave you.
I never married, but
You haven't married yet.
No, I've been engaged 3 times.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Same guy?
Yes. No. All different.
All right, I'm going to trust you this time.
I'm not
You
kidding.
mean it this time?
I'm serious.
Eleanor, let's get
All
married.
right, you don't have to out me. Kevin might not know my history.
No, I do know a little bit of it.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
Wait a minute. Do you do an impression of somebody? that
Dice
you-
was my second ex-fiance.
Yeah, but who's your first?
Oh, well, he was doing Dice. My first was a guy named Bill Branca. He was a booking agent. You know Bill?
I know Bill. He booked me on some of the best cruise ships ever.
That sounds right.
Doesn't sound like
The
my Billy
best,
at all.
the best cruise
And the
ship.
third one,
Ronnie, you wouldn't know him.
Ronnie.
He's not in the business. He's just.
Well, what
He was
the-
funny. A lot of
what-
people did his.
He was an
impression.
interesting
Which one was the
character.
most hurtful?
Hurtful.
Did you break off the engagement each time?
Yes, and the first one was the worst. Billy.
How
was,
long were you engaged?
Like a year.
How long were you dating him?
A year and a half.
Okay,
a
so
pretty
not
quick
too much time
engagement, yeah.
damage there.
Not too much time damage, but like when we got engaged, I was like, I wanted to have 10 kids with him, and his uncle played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So I was like, oh, this is it.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
have
have my
athletes.
athletes. Now I have my little Jimmy who plays for the Minnesota Twins, so I just live vicariously through him.
Okay, so that was the first one, and then
Yeah.
Dice,
Dice.
and then there was Ronnie.
Andrew, stop it. Yeah, and I still tour with Andrew. I'm still really good friends with Andrew.
I used to do open mic nights with him.
Did you?
Yeah,
Here or at
No,
the
it was
Improv?
before he was Dice. That's when he was doing impressions and stuff.
Yeah, he was doing impressions.
Travolta and
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of
Buddy
one of
Love.
yeah.
Buddy
Buddy
Love,
Love was what started the whole Dice
Dice.
thing. That's exactly. Most people don't. When you say that to people, they're like, "Who?" But I was obsessed with Jerry Lewis, so I
Me
immediately.
too.
I loved him.
I love his movies.
Everything Jerry Lewis did. My mom said,
Was it The Bellboy?
Mm-hmm.
And the Caddy.
Yeah, everything. He was such a goof.
The Nutty
And then
Professor
even
was
with
my
Dean
favorite.
Martin, I go crazy from them together,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Dean, the Velvet Voice. But my mom said when I was real little, she would go to put like Sesame Street on or something, and I'd be like, "No, put on Harry Jewish." And she's like, "Who the hell is Harry Jewish?" But that's how I said Jerry Lewis. She didn't know I was an anti-Semite. I mean, until
I didn't
then.
find out
But she found out
till
quick.
later.
But yeah, once she found it, she's like, "This guy," and I would just be glued to whatever Jerry Lewis was doing.
Yeah,
So
he
my mom was
great.
like, "Oh, just put on Jerry Lewis, she'll be quiet."
Meanwhile, there was 9 other rascals running around the Kerrigan
Just
household,
punching me like, "We don't like this show. We're gonna kill you if
taking
you put
turns
this on again."
hitting each other with wooden bats.
I don't see anything wrong with that, Rick. It's South Philly. It's just how we say hi.
You're not related to Nancy Kerrigan, are you?
No, why would you bring that up? Oh, we
Because
would
your
never
last
get
name?
beat up.
So
He answers literally.
he's got a great reason for
You're
asking.
absolutely right. Look at this. Look at this daintiness.
I'm taking my cap off the bottle and I'm about to drink it.
They can see you in the camera.
Cheers. I
Well-
forgot there was a camera here.
I know. There's 2 of them, actually.
They're not operating them.
I thought that was a sprinkler, but I guess it's a camera. Huh?
It could be a sprinkler. I mean, we're not going to
clamp.
save anybody in a fire, but
We don't have cameras per se, but we do have clamps. So if you wouldn't mind just
Clamp
looking
sounds
at the clamp.
really nasty.
clamps is.
I got
my
clamps when I
middle
was in
name.
college, and let me tell you, don't regret it at all.
My clamps are
You know what
beautiful.
seems like the worst kind of STD to get is crabs.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, all right. Well, my neighbor is like
I'm gonna.
he's probably in his 70s. I don't
Okay.
really know,
That makes sense.
but he said I used to have long hair like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I cut it, and he was like, "Hey, man, why'd you cut your hair?" And I was like, I just figured what why do I have long hair, I guess. He was like, "I remember, man, in the 60s, I grew my hair out, and then I had to shave it." I go, "Oh, yeah, why'd you shave it?" He goes, "Well, I had sex with a lady who wasn't the cleanest, and I got crabs, and, I had to shave the whole body." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was staying with my wife and my, 1.5-year-old at the time. My wife's just looking at me like, "Don't talk to the neighbor anymore."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right. Good to see you, buddy."
Did you ever have crabs?
No.
My neighbor
Just
had them.
Chesapeake.
Okay, Chesapeake. Very
Yeah.
nice. My neighbor had them, and my brothers, this is my older brother, him and his friends decided to play a joke on her and tell her that if she holds a mirror down there, that the crabs will see themselves and jump off.
Smart. That's good science.
So they were, and I'm really little, and they're by the phone waiting for her to call with the reports and all this stuff, and she kept calling. It's not working. Still.
And I don't like what I'm seeing down there.
And then they would be like, "Let us come over. Let us see what's."
Smart. Those are the good old days,
Tormentors, tormentors.
Pre-Me Too, when you could still
Yeah.
look
So
at
I
a
always
girl
had a fear
checking
of
yourself in a mirror.
crabs. Anyway, you're amazing. I feel like we're keeping you because I know
Not
you.
at all.
No, but you did your shows, and now we're like you.
Yeah.
You got to
Giving
get
us
over.
We
You got to
Love You.
bartend tonight.
I have to go home and
Improv.
edit. I'm going to be editing.
What are you editing?
I do my little hiking show. I do a little
I
hiking show.
love it. I think
Thank
it's
you.
terrific.
But the
you had
editing
some killer
is
guests
so-
on
I
there.
got some good people, yeah.
Yes.
But thank you. But the editing takes a long time, and I
You
post
do
it
it
every
yourself?
Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, we post this every Thursday.
That's
so
impressive.
why don't you do one of those apps and have an editor come over?
Well, I've thought about that. And
Maybe
I
one
will
of the
eventually
Home
do
Depot
that.
guys.
Yeah, the Home Depot guys will paint it for me.
They know how to cut the film and tape
Yeah.
it together. They're
They'll
good.
come over with a saw.
Ain't it? Have you seen Kevin Nealon's new show? Yeah, it's just a painting of him hiking with celebrities.
The problem is the editing is kind of like half of the comedy. you know?
Oh, absolutely. So an editor
like
that chops the comedy is no good.
Yeah.
But if you...
But it takes so much time. Even my son said the other day, he goes, Dad, can't you do like one every 2 weeks? I said, no, I got to do it every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Yeah.
You're right, but it's true. Consistency, that's what they want.
Yeah.
So,
and this is the 3rd season. I do 31 every season.
Oh, so, okay, 30. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you decide 31?
I just, the first season.
Your favorite number?
Determined that. I just stopped and I thought, well, when am I going to stop doing this? I should just stop now. And how many did I have? 31. Okay, 31. I'll call that season 1. Because I need a break. I wasn't like able to get people every week, you know, and I was hustling and you know. So I just took like, you know, 5 months off, 4 months off, and I just started banking them.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then I learned last season that I have to bank enough to get through the holidays because nobody's around to hike.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It dies around here.
So
right?
I have about enough to get me through the 2nd week of January now.
That's great.
That's the only time I can book commercials anymore. Is when everyone else is
Everyone
out.
leaves. Yeah,
like,
that's true.
nobody's
People
here.
don't know that.
Yeah.
Companies have money to spend.
Yeah.
Other marketing.
I booked one like 2 years ago, and I went in for the original audition, and it was like beginning in November, and it was me and a bunch of like Middle Eastern people, and I'm like, I was playing like a clerk at a gas station or something. I'm like, Hilarious. What am I doing here? And then I went to the callback, and there was like 3 of us.
Oh, wow.
And I go, wow, they really narrowed it down. They go, no one else is in town. I was like, no. And then I booked it. I'm like, wow, this is great. I can't believe they picked me. And they were like, well, they felt like it would be racist.
Process of elimination.
They said we thought it would be racist if we went with the Middle Eastern guy. I'm like, well, whatever it takes, you know.
Hey, I'll play the non-racist.
If you're worried about being racist, I'm your guy.
Reverse racist.
Who was your favorite guest on your show so far?
Well,
are we allowed to say?
They're all like good. They're all different.
Who's your least favorite?
Least favorite, I will tell you.
Sure. That's an easier question.
Everybody was great. Everybody was great in their own way.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of them. That's great.
You should watch
Lisa
all of them.
Kudrow. No, you're right.
It's kind of rude the way she said that. Because I've watched them all 4 or 5 times.
It's like when people just check
Each
a couple.
one?
People check a couple of your stories and then they're gone. Like, oh, okay, I guess they'll listen.
Oh, yeah. If you ever see somebody has like the little, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I can't.
It's like stitching.
Honey.
Nikki Glazer. It looks like Gene stitching across the top. I said, I'm done, man. I am done. You put so much work into this
story. I'm not going to know how this ends.
Give me like 2 strips. I'll look at them.
If, yeah.
I've never seen an Instagram story.
What?
I've never watched one.
Rick,
because you have a 2-year-old.
Tonight's the night.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old now, but I just don't understand. I should have existed like 65 to 95 and then died.
Okay.
Because I'm just not.
I like where you're going.
I'm just not
with that.
down with anything modern the kids are into. I never vined. I never did.
I don't
any of that
vine,
shit.
but
I don't think anyone
this
vines
is pretty
anymore.
Easy.
I heard that Larry Gelbart, you know, who created MASH, and Norman Lear,
the best.
Carl Reiner, they're at a deli and they're talking about the current state of television and all the platforms and the short attention span. And Larry Gelbart said, Norm, we're dying at the right time.
He ain't wrong.
Yeah.
I would have loved to hear those guys talk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just sit like, wow. Norman Lear, I met him here a couple times.
Yeah.
He's killer.
It's amazing.
He's amazing. All right. Anyway, so what's the name of your
The show is called Hiking with Kevin. It's on
Hiking with
YouTube. Hashtag Hiking with Kevin or youtube.com/Kevin Nealon Comedy. And I post a different hike every Thursday.
Every Thursday,
Every
people.
Thursday.
So tune in on Thursdays.
Tune in on Thursdays around 11 o'clock.
We could pretend we're a morning radio for you if you want.
Yeah.
Rick's a great morning radio voice.
bet he is.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. Stick around. We got 38 special coming up after Kevin, and he's going to be at the Yoo-Hoo Room.
You're talking like Johnny Dare out of Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then I'm Laugh Girl, so I just laugh.
Yeah.
Like, there's all...
Murphy.
Hey, Murph, come on, Murph.
Where's my dog?
You were backstage with Nickelback. You know what? You don't even have to tell us.
I don't even know what he's saying. Well,
thanks
anyway,
for having me.
thank
Yeah,
you
thanks for
so
being on,
much
man.
for
We
doing it.
appreciate
I
it.
saw Kirk walking back and forth, so
Yeah,
he's probably
Kirk's a
looking
buddy
for
of
you.
mine, yeah.
He's the best.
Tall Guy Club.
Tall Guy Club.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Guys, don't forget, rate, subscribe. Josh is
We
going to
got
come
Josh
in
coming in.
do
Promote.
some promotion for his stuff. Thank you again.
Thanks, Kevin.
You're the best.
Thank you, guys. What an experience.
It's such an experience.
Finally got to live the dream.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true.
They do.
Where's Josh?
Oh, right here.
Get in here, Josh.
Thank you, love.
You got it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Get in
Rick,
there.
good seeing you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Get in there,
Thanks.
buddy.
Josh is our boy.
Thanks, Kevin, for coming by.
Thank you.
All right.
Somebody from the store was calling.
They're probably trying to get you upstairs. Like, come on, you're
nobody
up.
there?
So, all right. Drew Carey's coming to Civilianization, the military podcast I do right here. And it's cool because he's also an Ohio guy. A lot of people don't know he was a Marine. And
That explains the haircut.
of course.
Yeah.
And the glasses, because those kind of look like the ones you get out of boot camp.
Yep.
And also, so check out Civilianization, military podcast done right here at the Comedy Store.
Sorry, I'm responding.
Are you
do
guys,
your thing.
Are you guys going to be doing kind of a whose line is it improvisation, you think?
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys come down for that real quick.
I have a lot of suggestions for improv.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We'll just yes and the fuck out of this, man.
Yes, and.
Yeah, yes and now he just what's this text?
Is that
Not
me
doing it
texting
now.
you?
No,
Oh,
just
sorry.
kidding.
I was like, shit, did I text you
No,
instead of the
it's-
girl upstairs?
Drew has a live feed to
Oh,
our
shit.
show at all times.
Of course, he's paying attention right now.
That's
and
awesome,
then
Drew Carey.
I can't wait,
That's
man.
great,
And
yeah.
then so I got some other things I can't talk about, but I want to when it comes to that. So tune into Civilianization. Also, I'll be in Sacramento, the city right outside Sacramento, which is Rockland, on the 22nd for a show called Verbal Insults, and it's going to be fun. So get up there.
Excellent.
Thanks for
Verbal insight.
everything.
Yeah.
Plug.
He knew how to
He's good.
put
He's
that
got his shit
suspense in
together.
there. He's
yeah.
got some stuff that he can't tell us about.
Guys,
Oh,
I
man.
can't tell you about
I know. It's like, fuck, I really want to talk about some badass Navy SEAL. Wait, I can't talk about that.
can't
I
talk
can't
about
talk about
that.
these
Jeez.
guests I got coming in.
You're not
Josh,
allowed.
he-
A couple killer Marines that are literally
Literally.
killer
Literally.
Marines.
What?
Yeah. I'll say
That's
what?
amazing.
Like your Padre, Devil Dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Papa.
He'll strangle you with a typewriter ribbon.
Thank you.
So,
All
all
right.
right, we're good.
Thank you, guys.